I'm a Flutter engineer. I'm currently working as a mobile app developer at VORI. I started, I think, roughly a year ago. One thing I want to mention is that I am an electrical engineer. I studied electrical engineering, and then throughout my career, I loved coding. So electrical engineering, you work with hardware, and whenever there was a project about coding, I was always up for it. I was the first person people would reach out to, Mahnoor loves coding, let's go to her. So when I was looking for a job, I applied at POI with zero experience in Flutter. I just took an internship a year ago, and they hired me. And I was super surprised that, why am I here? But then, fast forward 1 year, I love programming. I love programming in Flutter. I love making animations. They're super hard, they're super rare, but I love it. So today, I'm going to talk about Flutter and animations in Flutter. So we'll start by having an introduction to Flutter. How many of you have worked in Flutter or know what Flutter is? Okay, great. How many of you have done animations in Flutter? Oh, 2, 3. Okay, great. So we'll be learning about animations, and then we'll deep dive into animations, how to do them, and what use cases there are, and what are the widgets that Flutter has provided us with, which makes animation super easy. And then the do's and don'ts and key takeaways. Okay, so Flutter. Flutter does not only market itself as a mobile app development platform, but it really focuses on the UI. I've seen some of the most beautiful apps with amazing animations in Flutter, and they're seamless. It's fast, it's quick, and an interesting thing is, in Flutter we have a grid. We work with grids. There is containers, we have rows, and we have columns, and it's really easy to understand, and it's really easy to imagine what you are making and see it. So Flutter allows you to learn really quickly. 3 months into my job, I worked on a project having no background of coding. I could do it. Easy to understand, stateless widget, stateful widget, most of the things are self-explanatory. Then Flutter is for the developers, and it is by the developers. Most of the libraries that we use, they're coded by the developers, and whatever, if you make a new feature and you are really confident about it, you can make a library for it, and you can make it in use for everyone else. So it has an expressive and flexible toolkit, and all of us know that it's a cross-platform. It's cross-platform, hence it works on iOS and Android. Flutter combines native performance and quality with high-velocity development and multi-platform. Animations. So how many of you use Instagram? All of us do, yeah. We like every second or third picture. When we like it, an animation happens. It's so smooth, we don't even notice it. We don't think about animation as something which needs to be done, because in the applications and in the future we see animations, we will see them anywhere. We are even like the little kids with Cocomelon, they know the transitions. They see transitions happening. It's not like there's no pop. Something pops up and something closes. So animations will be needed in the future for sure. We would, when we are looking at development, we are looking at animations, every single small click, buttons, widgets. So there are 2 types of animations. So Flutter, what Flutter has done is, it has really made animations easy for us. So we have implicit animations for that. Implicit animations are the simpler ones, and we have widgets for them. They are super easy to use, and so if you have a complex animation in your head, yes, there are other widgets for that, but implicit animations, they include animated container and animated opacity, and we will talk about them later also. And then one thing that's good about implicit animations is that they have a declarative syntax, which means that they are reusable and they're easy to understand. The code, and it's when you're reading that code, you're not lost. Like, you know, if you are familiar with animation controllers, then you know where the animation controller went. When did I start this animation? When I'm going to end it? And what got wrong? It's really easy to debug. And then we have explicit animations, which are a bit hard, but you get a grip once you work on it for some time. And then again, they have an imperative syntax, and you use a controller, and then you start it somewhere, and then you end it somewhere. And then we have custom painters, which are really interesting. You can paint whatever shapes, images, and anything that you want, any kind of shape that you want, which is not available in Flutter, with custom painters. And for that, it actually gives you access to low-level APIs for drawing, and you need to work a bit with Canvas APIs, but that's also doable. And now we're going to discuss the animation widgets, which are used for implicit animations. So we have animated container, Flutter engineers. Animate containers, everyone knows about containers. Show of hands. Yes. Okay. You can animate properties of containers. Animated opacity. You can animate the opacity of widgets. And then we have padding and position. Let's see how they work. So animated container, you can animate the container. Animated opacity, this is how it works. And if you go on Flutter and you just type this, you will have a code snippet, and it would be really easy to understand and really easy to add these animations to your code. And then we have animated padding, which is really interesting, that how you don't need to think about the time when the animation starts and when it ends. It just works so seamlessly and so quickly. Then we have animated position. You can change the position of the container or any object that you make. You can do this with your custom objects. And now we will be talking about Tween Animation Builder and Slide Transition, and we will go in detail about them. I have some code ready for you. Okay. I want you to look at this video. Yeah. So this is what custom animations are. It's going to be smooth, it's pixel perfect, and really easy to code. You can control every single pixel on screen. Do you remember the first transition? Okay, so this explains that. We have slide transition. Slide transition is comparatively more, you have more control over it, and you can, as you can see, you can have an object, you can start, the offset means that it can start from a point on the screen and it can end to another point, and you can specifically control the pixels from where it starts, where it ends. And then you can have tween offset. This tween offset builder actually tells you how the object will move, and it controls your container or widget. Then we have curved animation, and we can give different curves. There are linear curves, there's bounce back, and there are multiple options. So once you start working with Flutter, you'll see कि बहुत ज़्यादा options होती हैं. आप एक किस्म की animation चाहेंगे, and then out of nowhere you'll get a smooth transition, and there's so much to learn, and you'll be amazed. And then again, here we use animation controllers. So when I talked about explicit animations, we have to use animation controllers. And there I am giving it time, a duration of 250 milliseconds. It was a really quick transition. It was just the first part. So yeah, about okay. Explicit, thank you. About explicit animations, you have to think about these things. When would it start? When would it end? You are working with states and things might be hard. So about the do's and don'ts. What I would recommend you while you are animating is that you need to be sure that your code base is declarative, which means that it should be readable, it should be easily accessible, and you should have blocks of code. Imperative syntax would be a problem because animations are complex and they are dependent on multiple things, multiple states. And if you go through that, then it would be really hard to debug your code or change an animation that you already built. So it was short. Are you guys happy about that? Because everyone looks super tired. Key takeaways. Flutter has made animations easy and accessible. I hope everyone who has heard about it, go try it. If you are familiar with animations and if you're familiar with Flutter, please do try it. It's super easy and it's a good skill to have. And then we also learned about animations are really easy to implement. There are very easy widgets with self-explanatory parameters. And then we talked about the best practices. Thank you. I would also really like to appreciate my company, and I would like to ask you guys, if you're looking, you can apply to VOI. It's a great company. I got here, and I do give them the credit for it. So, yeah.